like that.
Educating. Empowering. Entertaining. We are the top 5.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Happy
Palm
Sunday.
Easter, everyone.
Happy Palm Sunday. Happy
Thank you.
Passover. Happy upcoming Easter. All of the above.
Hi, Lacey.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Welcome
afternoon.
to Top
Hi, Miss
5.
Patricia.
We have some hot, steamy topics today. So if you could just like and share the live. Just get all your friends in because we have some hot, steamy topics we want to talk about. Get the audience involved. And, it's going to be a little heated. So I don't know. Keep on liking and sharing. Share it. Share the live. Share it. Hi, Samantha Fraser and Veron. Well, hello.
Hi, Cuz. Hi, Veron. That's my cousin.
So, ladies, what's going on? What's going on in your world? Tell me about it.
Oh my God, what is going on? Too much things is going on. It's like so much things in social media. So much things I had to unplug on Friday. It was just too much. The Derek Jacks fallout. Like we have so much to share on that. on that. Hi, Derek. My boo is here. Hi, Julia. Julia, yeah, like
Hi.
all the way in Canada or England?
I'm in Toronto, Canada. Yes.
Okay.
Is it still cold over there? Did the weather break?
It's not too bad. We've been having some nice sunny days. And I see the grass is turning green. My vegetables are beginning to come back. I'm getting some spring onions and some spices that are coming back. So it's looking good right now.
Oh, awesome.
Pretty happy with the weather.
Awesome.
Everyone continue to share the live. If you guys share, just put in the comments that you shared, guys. Continue to share the live. Let's get more people in here because we have some hot topics.
Oh yes. Well, the weather too is changing here in Texas. So it's kind of like it's kind of cool, like a nice chill. So it's nice. It's nice to just go out and take a walk or something like that because I've been feeling claustrophobic. So it's like I had to go take a walk before I came on the show today.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And it's
yes, guys, like it. Yeah, like and share. Come on, let's talk. Let's chat about this guy. What you think? We want to know your opinion.
Yeah, over here is very dreary. So I did not take a walk today. Okay. Today was a day just to stay in the bed. But I went over to my family's house real quick and then came back here. And now I'm here. But basically, I mean, for me, what's going on in my world, guys, I'm still pregnant. Well, that's good.
Hi, Deani.
Deani's in here. So I'm in my third trimester. So, just counting down the months and looking forward to the baby shower that's coming up. But other than that, just trying to relax and be stress-free in the midst of all the craziness going on in the world, right? And staying safe, so so
let's get started.
So I want to know exactly if you guys think that in a relationship, would you forgive someone who did infidelity? Would you forgive someone in a relationship? If you're your boyfriend or your husband, let's talk about your husband, right? If he cheated, would you be able to forgive him?
Oh boy, that will depend on the age I am and depends on if I have small kids, depends on lifestyle. A lot of things have to be taken into consideration. So I wouldn't be the one who jump up and say, "Oh yes, I will." You know, to each his own. Everybody have to make that personal decision for themselves. But maybe if I have small kids, 412, and we, we have a good life, and when things is good, maybe I may not like officially break up. We will have to work something out. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. We probably might be in the next room or something, or we'd have to go through some therapy or something. But I don't know. I can't. I thought about this all week and I couldn't come up with a yes of real firm yes and a real firm no. It have to be the situation have to be presented to me if I'm in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. Again, our next host on the show is Julian Latham.
Yes, so for me,
for everyone who doesn't know who she is,
Yes.
Julian Latham. And guys, thank you for congratulating me on my pregnancy. Yes, it's very weird in a pandemic. Sometimes things, can't stop life,
Right?
that's it. The world keeps turning. That's
Yes.
it. That's it. So for me, like Hermelin, it depends on the situation. And if you're together for richer, for poorer, for better, or for worse, this is one of the worst situations that you have to deal with in your marriage. And definitely, I'd probably have to seek some marriage counseling. There'll be a lot of feelings of anger and deceit, and very reluctant to do things together as a family. So I'd need some support from that. I'd also rely on the wisdom from my family members to have an open discussion and an open dialogue with them for some assistance, because as women, we like to talk and we like to console each other and learn from each other's experiences also. From the experience of my parents, my mother was a very forgiving and loving woman, and she put up with a lot, and still found space to forgive and move on and still have a very successful marriage. So there are ways to overcome it. There's some people who will just walk away from the situation because there's no forgiveness at all. And again, it depends on who they cheated with.
So
suppose they cheated with your own sister.
Oh yeah,
or godmother of your children.
yeah,
Or
that
your best friend. There's so many
Yeah.
dynamics in this.
So
Yeah.
Lacey J said most of us stayed after cheating. From her older self to my younger self, she should have stayed. Shouldn't have stayed. So I guess she stayed and she shouldn't have stayed. I mean, I think my perspective when it comes to that, obviously, cheating is something that people doesn't tolerate. It's like kind of like the last straw, right? But like you both said, it all depends on the situation. My thing is, if you as a person is deciding, if you're in a relationship and that person is cheating and you decide to keep that person, not go to a different relationship, I believe that it shouldn't be shared among family and friends or people that you don't know, because what happens is that those people will always say, well, why she didn't leave, and give you all these talk in your ear, which could cause a lot of problems in your relationship. Because if you decide to stay, that's because maybe it was something that happened and you guys want to move on from that and forgive and forget, like you said, for better or for worse, right? Worse is one of those situations. Now, if it's something extreme, like in the next topic we're about to talk about soon, that causes embarrassment, and that's
Yeah.
right, is the problem, and puts you as a wife or a girlfriend that causes embarrassment to yourself and to your character. I don't believe you should stay. But it all depends. A lot of relationships have dealt with this, and it all depends on your morals. I know with my morals is more so of that's not tolerated in my house. But when it comes to some other people, they might go through these things and they probably stayed and we would never know. So it all depends on your situation and how you share it with other people. I always believe that don't share your relationship business with a lot of people because they're going to always have their opinions, what decision you make, if you're going to stay or leave, should always be with you and your spouse. No one should know what's going on in your home unless you're getting beaten up, abused, having a black eye, you're fearing for your life. That's a different story. But something with that, if you decide to stay, don't share it with everyone.
Again, the situation is different, Victoria, because supposing everybody knew something was going on,
and that's embarrassment. And that's what you call embarrassment.
That is embarrassment, and the deceit is it's heartbreaking. But when it comes to love, the heart wants what the heart wants.
Exactly.
I think that that person who said, her older self would say to her younger self to leave. Your heart at that time, that was something that your heart could not tolerate. So you chose to stay within the relationship and make it the best. I don't know if children were involved, but definitely that's a strong factor to try and stay together. And also there's a financial too. If as a woman you're dependent and you're staying home with the children, watching you're a housewife and you don't have that financial strength to stand on your own 2 feet, that is a huge factor to stay within the marriage as opposed to walking out and having nothing.
I was going to say that financial.
Well, it all depends on the state you are, because you're never going to have nothing. So it depends on the state.
As long as I have something on my back, I have something. Yeah. I got something.
Yeah, as Victoria said, I would if it was like this, like the embarrassment is a big thing to me. Like I'm embarrassed now. Everybody know, like especially if you're trying to keep it undercover and it just blow up. Like thank God, like some of us just went through our breakups when there was no social media.
Yeah,
no social media, because a lot of us might have been just embarrassed, and stuff. So. That's why I say stack your money. It doesn't matter how much money you make, how much money you get. Just put some money aside, because that is going to make you make a better choice for yourself.
Yeah,
I just thought of Major Hype for some reason. I'm not hearing anything about him anymore, but that is major social media mayhem when it comes to a relationship blowing up.
It's like, and I remember me and Derek have a whole conversation about this cheating like years ago, and I remember he was the first one I heard say cheating is a choice. So it's like, oh God, when you go to the things of cheating is a choice, that even hurt even more, because like no, you made the choice to sneak on top to the person, then you make a choice to go meet with the person, and you make a choice to have sex with the person, because we as women want to just believe it just happened once, we want to believe that. So when you get cheated is a choice, it's like, oh, that hurts even more. Yes, Rachel, financial abuse is real. It doesn't have to be only physical abuse.
It could be many types of abuse.
Well,
like I was saying, it's just that when it comes to your relationship, it all depends on what you and your partner decides and what you feel is best when it comes to that. And yes, I always I do definitely live by this, because I have family members that are in great relationships that always would say that no one should know what's going on in your relationship, unless it's, like I said, if it's problematic to a point that your life is like threatened. But you shouldn't have anyone into your marriage knowing all your business, because at the end of the day, if you decide to stay with that person, those people are going to hold on to the negative.
Until you die.
Exactly. So
unless it's as you say, unless it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, that's when I'm going to open my mouth. But and I'm still not going to open my mouth to every family, because you still have to protect your children.
If you have children,
you have to protect your children, because you might think somebody is on your side, and that's the person that's going to go spread stuff. So you still have to protect your children's future. The child might be 4 years now, but you have to think when they're 14, because then everybody's going to look, oh, you remember what happened to you when he was 4? No, I don't want my daughter to be dating him. Remember, she told us. So you still have to protect the kids. Depends on what the situation is.
And let's talk about low self-esteem too. The lady may blame herself for the husband going out of doors, because I have my 3 children, I'm not putting myself well together, and you go on and get somebody else young and sexy looking and who has a Coca-Cola bottle shape, right? So she may blame herself and say, I need to take care of myself, and maybe she'll stay.
Yeah.
Bottom line, if he needs to go, he needs to go.
Yeah, there's no one should blame themselves when it comes to anyone's relation if a relationship fails or not. But I do believe everyone should take care of themselves to the fullest. You love yourself and you love how you look not because for the other person, but for yourself. So if you're going to keep yourself, you're going to work out, do your nails, do your hair, whatever the case may be, do it for yourself, not for anybody else. Something that makes you healthy, right?
Or even worse, somebody made a comment. Even worse, if the person looks exactly like you did when you were at your best, and now you find your lookalike to go out with.
Yes, I saw that. But I sometimes to especially when you're with a narcissist, I was married to a narcissist, so I know there comes a time in your head and a woman's head, we just say, screw it, I'm not dressing up for you, I'm not doing this, I'm rebelling, I'm just not showing up. And as I said, thank God there was no social media, so we all showed up. Well, at least I showed up in that same in that black sweats, my hair tied up like an African queen, well, just like her. So, but there was nobody capturing that moment, right? But so I could see her doing that as part of rebellion as well. Like I am not dressing up for you. I'm just not doing it. You're gonna take me from the kitchen just the way I am. You know,
Troy Jerome said, I guess he was talking to Patricia Conwell, that cheating is definitely on both sides. But if someone can't talk to the other, it's not really a reason to cheat. It means it might be over anyway. Why both or one be unhappy? We have one life to live. Be happy where possible. Maybe I'm being too simplistic.
Wow. So I have a question, and Victoria, I have a question. Do we ever see a man holding a woman's hand would you ever see, would we ever even witness a man holding a woman's hand in support if she cheated on him? Like if we flip this, why do you think men do not come out and support the woman like that? Because a lot of men are being cheated on. So, but they don't come out holding hands and being supportive. So you think it's embarrassment, shame? Men are more like, okay, I'm not going to air my business out there. We're going to work things out. You know, they don't want to feel a certain way in front of their friends. So let's flip it. Guys in the audience, tell us what you think. If if you cheated, do you think men are supportive to women who cheat on them?
I would like to comment, and this goes back to people have to understand. I mean, like I said, if you flip the script, obviously it's a little different, right? Men or women are just totally different. We're just different. If anyone thinks that we're the same, we're not. We just think differently, right? Women mature a little bit more faster than men in their early years, and then it catches up, right? Eventually, sometimes. But but when it comes to that, I'm thinking it more on a scientifical kind of like mammal kind of setting, that men are more territorial. So it's a little bit harder in their mind to accept that another man was on their like, let's say their territory, right? Basically that's what it is. Think about it, right? And knowing when women cheat, we get a little bit more. They will get more emotional. Like when we connect to people, it's more of an emotional connection first, and then before that emotional connection, it becomes a sexual connection. So it's a little bit more deeper, I believe, when it comes to men. Because basically I had a lot of male friends, even male friends that were older than me, that actually told me that when they went out, it was more so not really emotional connection. Right. For females, sometimes we could talk on a phone with someone, let's say if you guys are interested, and you could be connected with them just by speaking to them and, enjoying their, and your mind goes and you get connected and you start imagining, the love and this and this and that. It's a little bit different, right? You're not gonna really see a man, but at the end of the day, on both sides, it's wrong, but it's still the way how it's gone about is different when it comes to man and female. So Yeah.
All righty.
So
But anyway, we'll be chatting about this in my group next week about that, flipping the script to see Derek and I. So let's see. I don't want to talk too much about it here. So, all right.
but
I think
talking about cheating, guys, I wanted to go into the latest, the hot topic that's been floating around social media. Derek Jackson. Now, people in the chat, I know you heard about Derek Jackson giving all his advice to women, you know, how, you know, being a good man, was talking about Kevin Hart when he cheated on his wife and all this craziness. Now, he came out with a confession with him cheating on his wife. Came on social media with his wife, his poor wife in a bonnet, looking like she went through war. And and explaining himself, right, on why he cheated and this and that. And it was a whole bunch, you know, there's a lot of memes out there and a lot of, you know, it's social media is lit up right now. So, ladies, what do you think about Derek Jackson's confession? How do you feel about that?
Well, I call it bull. You know, the next word starts with S, because he is a classic narcissist who has a sense of entitlement, a sense of adoration. He lacks empathy in this whole thing. He blamed God. To me, when I listen, he blamed God. He blamed Candace. He blamed his wife. He's like, okay, like it's kind of like if she didn't take the kids and go to Colorado, this wouldn't happen. If he didn't give his life to God, this wasn't going to happen. If Candace didn't do, I don't know, girl, but listen to me, the man is full of bull crap. He will blame everybody but himself. I even saw him on social media on Jesse Wu page laughing at his wife, to me, because when Jesse Wu said, oh, you had this one woman come out here with a bonnet, and he's like, oh, it's not a bonnet, it's a hat. LOL, laugh, laugh, laugh. Somebody else said something else. He actually tagged his wife under the page and said, oh, babe, if you need help, blink twice. LOL. This is not a confession. This is a narcissist trying to push his poor wife in the forefront so he could hide behind her, so he could save his image. The confession, that's not a confession. Confession is taking accountability and accepting your bad behavior. That's not a confession. That's way under a confession.
D said it's the helmet of salvation.
Yeah.
Did he say he almost blamed me?
Yeah.
This says the helmet of salvation. I'm gone.
Yes, right.
Yeah. I think he's a huge disappointment. He's a huge disappointment to all his followers. You know, for years he's been giving out information about relationships, putting God first in your relationship and how to have the perfect marriage and what have you.
Right.
And meanwhile, he's been cheating on his wife all along. I don't know if his wife had any inkling of what was happening, because if she did, maybe she's just in it for the money and the ride also.
Yeah. So you know what? We're talking about that. Do you think that she knew? Because I believe she knew already.
She knew. I believe she knew.
How could she not?
She took the kids to Colorado.
I think it was just going to leak out, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why they brought it to the forefront.
Mhm.
But to be quite honest, this is me. Anyone could get mad. I don't care if someone tells me they believe in God, if they pray, and if they do this and this and that. They could quote scriptures to me. I really don't care. I'm a Christian myself, but my thing is more so of me seeing your actions and how you treat others. And that's how I judge you as a person. But for anyone to look at this man as he's God and be disappointed in his actions,
Right.
has a problem within themselves, because you should never have him on that type of pedestal, period. Because he's not God, right? Like what the person in the audience said that, oh, he's man. Yes, he is a man. And maybe there's more stuff that he's done that we don't know about, right? But he's going to have this image and he's going to make this money. Like
Right.
any other person wants to make this money on a platform that he knows that women are attracted to. So
Exactly.
for me, never cared for the man anyway. So it didn't really matter.
Exactly. And you know what? Like when I couldn't wrap my head around. Well, I guess I could probably, right? But is like you had three women. I mean, he is still he is only 31 years. Like, what advice? Like, what life have you lived to really give that kind of advice? You had three women on your wife. Like most, I'm not saying he's right, but I'm just saying most men who cheat have a mistress, have like one mistress, and they just have one. You had three rotating. One got pregnant. One is you had the sex. You know, he did a Clinton. We had a sexual relationship without having a sexual relationship. I still want somebody to explain that to me. And all this nonsense, and it's like, you know, like he has. I'm just feeling sad for his poor wife, because me being was in a narcissistic relationship, I could just feel the emotional, mental things that she's probably going through behind the scene that we don't know, because when he's doing this, he's coming like, yeah, babe, you see how much people that like us. I'm telling you, we needed to do this. More people gonna buy the books. Look at the account. Look. 15 minutes. Watch how much people buy the books. You know, and he's convincing her that this is working. That she being out there with a bonnet worked, you know, because he got probably more sales. Because every time he came on live, he had his book link to go buy his book. How could you take somebody like that seriously in a apology confession type scenario?
So okay, so you went on to on 2 points. So with her, my thing with the wife is that the way how I look at it, she looks like it was kind of nonchalant, because if you saw one of her videos, she was praying Holy Ghost fire to come down. And
yeah, I saw that.
So like, so for me, you know, listen, I am pro woman, of course, but sometimes the choices that woman makes is not always the right choice. And sometimes we can't always say they don't see it, or they don't know what's going on. Maybe she's in it. I'm being devil's advocate. Maybe she's in for the money, and she's you know, she wants this fame. You don't know that. We don't know that.
Yeah, you know, my Derek is convinced that she writes the book and he just puts his name on it.
Yeah.
He said she is in it. He believes she is in it with him capitalizing on all this thing way before even this came out. She is the mastermind. She could be the mastermind behind the book.
Someone mentioned that she's the head. She's the head of the whole thing.
She's a smart woman.
So she's a very smart woman. And you have to realize when this infidelity is going on, if somebody's pregnant in the background and they're going to say, well, you know, either you come out and you say it, otherwise I'm going to come out and expose everything you did. He's trying to beat them to the punch and put his wife back at the forefront again. So it's almost like a business tactic to take care of his reputation. Damage control.
We don't know. We have all scenarios. Yes, we don't.
And you know what? And ladies, I don't know if you remembered in his scandal.
Having fun.
If you remembered in his scandal, his mistress, he impregnated his surgeon mistress, a surgeon, okay? Surgeon mistress, and she revealed the text messages that he sent her while he was in the parking lot.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently, he was in the parking lot giving himself a nice job in the parking lot and taking a picture and sending it to his wife. I mean, not his wife, his mistress, sorry, to his mistress. So, I mean, that's a lot. And apparently the mistress said that he wasn't, him and his wife weren't together. They were separated.
Yeah, it's a lot in this follows. We don't know the true story. We may never know the true story. We don't know if she's in it, if he is not. I think Rachel said if she's in with him, then we should stop calling him a narcissist. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what to call him. We don't know. We just don't know. This is just our opinion we are sharing, and we don't know. They may never come out and tell us the truth. And I mean, in the end, it's her relationship.
Exactly. Like we said before, if she chooses to stay or if she chooses to leave, it's her choice. You know, we can't be judgmental on her choice, because That's her marriage. That's what she wants to do. That's her life. She's a grown woman. So if she wants to stay, she'll stay.
Exactly, because a healed person response to a victim person response is going to be different. Because I remember when she came out with a hat, and I said, "Oh my God, I would never do that. He would have to go have me fix my hair and buy me a new outfit or whatever." And honestly, God, I heard the Holy Spirit say, "Girl, you lied. You know you was in a similar situation when such and such. Remember that?" And I was like, you know something? Yeah, this is the heal me saying that. But the victim me 20 years ago probably would have acted just like that with the hat and the like don't care attitude. So we have two type of women: the women who have gone through, we are healed, we are moving forward, and the women who are still in their relationship. So our response will be totally different.
Well, ladies, we need to go to break real quick. But before we go to break, everyone continue to share, like the stream. We're going to be talking about does women has a lot of wants in men, and do we think men have wants too? We want to know what men want as well. So stay tuned. Don't leave. Share the live and come right back. We're going back to break.
What you do makes a difference, and you get to decide what difference you make.
In 2020, I was nominated for the Carlino Award, which is the award for advocacy. It just ballooned from there. I decided to become an ambassador for my area, and my goal with that relationship was to build a relationship with my local politicians here and the ones that represent in Washington, to let them know what was happening with Alzheimer's, give them information, let them know that we need their support and so forth. It just opened a whole new world of people to network with and people who felt as passionate as I did about this cause, and I still do to this day.
All Pro Health Staffing, www.allprony.com.
All right, we're back. Oh,
We were back.
I'm not too sure where Julian went, but
Yeah, that's okay. She's gonna come back.
so Hermelin, woman has all these wants in a man. We all know, as a woman, we have a list of things we want for in a man. But do we ever think of what a man wants in a woman when we're putting that list together?
I want to talk about my era and my time. No. When I was young in my 20s and even my 30s, I didn't know like men had wants, to be honest. I thought like men was put here to serve us, like, you know, pay the bills, make sure we look good. I thought that's what I thought at my age, 25. Yeah. I wasn't thinking of what he needs. I'm just thinking, well, if he just probably gets some good sex, that's it. Like, I mean, what else does he want? Like, I mean, I didn't know that he need love and affection and support and respect. I'm not gonna lie. I learned that in my 40s. So kudos to you guys that are young, that is getting the message really early, but I didn't get that message early. And that took me like a long time. And I heard it from like my cousins and uncles and brothers and just men I would just talk to, and it would be like, oh, I'm like, and then something clicked in my head like, oh, they want all this stuff? I thought they just wanted sex. Like, I didn't know. So yeah, we do think like we at least me, I never thought they wanted anything else more than that. And you know, maybe that could be the cause of a lot of breakups and stuff like that, because we don't really tend, well, at least that time I didn't tend to the needs of what he wants. Listening, I listen to what? I don't want to hear what you have to say. Cry what? Like, cry for what? Like, get up and go do what you gotta do. So, but I mean, we're in a new era now, so people learning this earlier than me. So, but I think still some women still want a lot of things off of this long list, but they're not willing to give or reciprocate that same list of what they are asking.
See, my thing is more so of, I feel that when it comes to women, we always think about what we want, like you said, first, and we never ever thought, what does a man want? We expect that they should put up with certain things that we carry, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's not right, because a lot of times we don't want to put up with those things that a man carries. So I feel like when it comes to a lot of women, even if it's my generation, or and a lot of times my generation too, so I'm in the millennial generation, that we have this list that's kind of like unrealistic that
Right.
we go off of, and then we wonder why we're still in the same position
Right.
because we don't know what does a man want.
We don't know because I grew up. I remember clearly my aunt telling me at age 21, the worse you treat a man, the better he treats you. So yeah, yell and scream, like not being nice, being nice, nasty. And she told me that. She said, so
That's
when
bad.
I heard like men wanted these other things, I was like, but my aunt said the worse you treat them, the better they treat you. And then you saw it in a lot of Grenadian men, like you, oh boy, move, coming from there, and he's still going, girl, talk to me now, girl, come downstairs now, girl, where you going and so far. So the men also, they affirmed it. So you tell them go away, you slam the door in their face, and they're still in the back, they're knocking the door, going,
Well,
go open the door. So if men start when women start treating them the way they do not want to be treated, they stand up for their own self and have boundaries, then I think all that will stop.
wouldn't you put that in perspective of if that's the case, women, when it comes to women, we always get people trying to talk to us, right? But when it comes to men, they don't have women banging on their door trying to talk to them all the time, right? We could walk down the street and then you have somebody, whistle at us. A man is not going to walk down the street and then you're going to have a woman, hey, sexy, hey, beautiful. No one's doing that to a man. So when it comes to that part when you were saying, you could treat them badly and this and this and that, and they'll still come after you because at the end of the day, it's like, what do I have to lose? I'm going to get rejected
anyway, right?
Right? So it's kind of like, well, what do we have to lose? I'll continue and see, but it all depends on that man because at the end of the day, it might not be for the right reasons, right? You might be it's kind of just like a great chase at that time.
Right. I could tell you nobody's not gonna do that to my 25-year-old because they have like these boundaries and these standards. Like it's like blows me away. Like, for example, like my son had this girl he liked or whatever, and I guess she put him in the friend zone. She went to date someone and then she came back and she said, oh well, we could probably start dating now or whatever, but she put him in a friend zone and he did a firm no. And I was like, you sure you don't want to give up? He like, Mom, it's a firm no. I don't want to be an option. I want to be first choice. I was like, ooh, this 25-year-old are like, yeah, 25-year tell me that 25 years ago. Men wasn't saying that then. He would go and have a relationship with a woman.
Mm-hmm. You see, like so when it comes to, I feel like there's a lot of, obviously you see like all these relationship people that's online or giving relationship advices and so forth. When it comes to, before I even go forward, are there any men in the chat room that can give their opinion as what they want in a woman? And be honest, open and honest, meaning don't give me a little fluff answer, right? And it goes down to physical too, because to be quite honest, men are they're visual creatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely going to want someone that's appealing to them. So chat what you want. What do you look for in a woman? And it doesn't really. I know there's some men that I do know that as long as the person is cooperative and nice and stress free. Not giving them a whole lot of stress, no drama, no baggage, right? They're okay with that, right? They come home and it's a great environment and they're okay with that. So if you're a man, in the comments, please put down what you want. Yes, exactly.
Yes, that's a good idea, Victoria. So at least women, who are single could see what men want, but some women were not going to listen anyway. They will be like, oh, whatever. We don't care what you want, yeah. So Derek.
Derek's in there. Yes, definitely, Derek. Come on now. Come in and tell us what you want. So even though you have Hermelin already, so be careful. Yeah. So but I feel like a woman who says that they don't care, I usually want to question their relationship status.
Right.
Because and you know what? Another thing I was thinking, I'm sorry to cut you off, Hermie. My thing is more so of when I was dating, I realized that to get advice from people who are in successful marriages and relationships is very it's very important to see how they worked out their marriage and relationships, because compared to anyone who has been in rocky marriages or who's never been married or hasn't had successful relationships, because I always believe that if you want to be successful, you got to hang around successful people, right? When it comes to your business, and that goes for as well as your relationships. So if you want a healthy relationship, you need to be around people who are in healthy relationships, because those people are going to give you great advice. Don't take advice from people who are not in healthy relationships, because that's going to put you in a position where they're at too. So I totally believe that.
Yeah, I agree. So Derek says we look for a woman who to be a mother, stable in her mind, able to maintain a home, can cook, work with us in our doings, and listen to our advice. I swear that last part is shade. Listen to our advice. That's
you would know. And that's very simple.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But not a lot of ladies understand, they don't want to. There's that's so simple, and like that looks like something a man would say.
But Victoria, you're right. We really don't listen. And I mean, I could attest to that. Like when I was younger, like I wouldn't even listen. Like I don't want to hear what you have to say. I make up my mind. That's what I'm doing. Like I wouldn't even listen to the opinion. But then when I became single and I was by myself, I remember praying to God and be like, oh my God, I want a man that's going to listen to my opinion and I want to listen. So I missed the thing. It's like I end up missing the thing that I had when I was single, because I'm praying for the same thing. Like, can I have somebody that's going to listen? I'm tired of making decisions by myself.
Hey, oh, you're back. Yay.
You're back,
I'm back.
So I was going to say one thing is that when it comes to like, and then the only time I could just give relationship is based on how I got to my marriage. My thing was, as in my younger years of dating, right? You realize, everyone makes mistakes in their picker. I call it a picker, right? Your picker, who you choose to date and this and that, and then you figure it out. But the way how I did it was more so of, like I said, I'm a Christian, and I believe my prayer was more so of, I asked God to prepare me to meet my husband, so that you could prepare my husband to meet me. It's not always about just you meeting your husband.
Yes.
And it's always about being prepared to, when you meet him, that your mind, your emotional state is right.
Yes.
Sometimes you carry baggage from previous relationships and put that onto your partner, and that could be a problem. So when it comes to, I saw someone said that something about with Christianity. Christianity is great. Like I said, Derek Jackson said he was a Christian, but I feel like it gets a little bit more deeper when it comes to working on yourself. And and not only that, it could be not just going to church, right? A lot of us has a lot of trauma, going to therapy, figuring out what's going on with you. And once you fix yourself and you know what's going on with you, you'll be able to establish a healthy relationship.
Bingo. Yes, Victoria, you are talking right, because I did my back into front. So when I was separated, I did exactly what you said. I prayed. I went. I started to develop a personal relationship with God, not just going to church every Sunday and whatever. And I attempted to heal myself first and face all my traumas and all the things that was making me not be a good person. Because I remember your time I prayed to God, like I don't even like myself. Like when I say I don't like myself, I don't like the attitude that I have, not like physical. Like, oh my God, I have a nasty attitude. Like, oh my God, why am I like that? Why am I so this? And I had to bring that to, get counseling, go to therapy, and just fix myself and just stay away from relationship for a couple of years. And then that's when I met Derek, because then I had my list, not a long, outrageous list. He was like, the first thing on my list was a man who was spiritual, who knew God. The second thing was had a good relationship with his mom. So it was simple things. It wasn't the outlandish things that I had before, tall, handsome, this, that, blah, 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 and all the imagery and stuff. It was like real stuff, because I worked on myself, and I urge women to do that. Work on yourself. Trust me, I know it's hard. Nobody wants to face those childhood trauma. But to have a good, healthy relationship, you have to face the mother trauma, the father trauma, whether it could be abuse trauma, whatever trauma it is, you have to face it to move on, because you're going to bring that trauma into your relationship. He is somehow, I don't know, he doesn't know about your trauma, but he's going to say something that is going to trigger you.
Yeah.
I think with every relationship, the truth starts coming out. For me, I wasn't out looking for a husband. He kind of just grew on me.
Exactly.
Right.
I was more looking for someone that I can talk to and a friend. And from the moment I met my husband, which was on New Year's Eve,
Right.
we sat and we talked, and it was, oh my God, this man knows my soul. He knows me. I can talk to him.
Right.
And it was just like, I said the cheapest pickup line of all. Where have you been all my life? You are amazing. That's what I said to my husband. Seriously. And, we've been together now for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
that in my circle of friends is unheard of. So the things that bring quality to the marriage is honesty, trust, being there for each other. I'm not a perfect person, and I don't expect perfection from him either. But at the same time, we're there to support each other through thick and thin. And, just watching our family grow up over the years, and now we're dealing with parents who are old and dealing with this whole pandemic issue. You have to fall back on your love and your faith in each other, and hope that if you're going through a rough ride, things will get better. And you don't have, not every man cheats.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to be there as an example to my children that marriage does work. It doesn't have to be perfect, but make it the best that you can.
And you know what? There's no marriage that's perfect. I don't understand why. And I feel like when it comes to I'm getting off topic, but my grandmother who passed away, when I asked her about her marriage, right? And the most important thing that I remember she told me is, one, have God first in your marriage, right? It's not going to be easy. No marriage. She said her marriage wasn't easy, right? But they got through those humps. And I think when it comes to our generation, we are ready to quit at the littlest things.
That is so true.
And not understanding that there's no perfect person. There's no one that's perfect. The only perfect person is God himself. And when it comes to human beings, we are not perfect. We all have flaws. And you can figure out that flaw with that man. I always say that everyone's going to have a flaw, but what can you deal with? Right? If you can't deal with these flaws, then that's not the person for you. But if you have like a little flaws, like, oh, maybe the person has, maybe they leave their stuff on the floor. Maybe they have the stock on this over here. Okay, that's fine. You could deal with it, right? But there's no perfect person. And I think when it comes to a lot of us, we have to understand that going into relationship, they're just as flawed as we are.
That is correct. So, yep.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
And a lot of times I just, I'm 32 years old. So I learned a lot of this wisdom is from my family who are older than me. Right. And I always believe that taking advice from older people and those long lasting relationships, like Julia, you're 30 years. One of my aunts is 30 years. And I spoke to her about her marriage. And, when you get that type of advice, it helps you.
Yeah.
To have a successful marriage.
Somebody mentioned tolerance. You have to have a lot of tolerance, and you have to have a lot of faith.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Yeah, exactly. There's no perfect person. No. So.
Yes, Samantha, you said tolerance.
So going and talking about marriage, I wanted to know, when it comes to, especially our community, the West Indian, Caribbean community, do we bring up our young men and women to be wives and husbands, or do we let them figure it out themselves? And this is going by different generations now, because I have some examples with my family. So go ahead, take the floor.
I think we're dealing with a whole different generation they're more into themselves, and really marriage has really taken the back table. I think young girls are being brought up to go to college or university, get a degree, make something of yourself, and then seek marriage after. For my mother's generation, it was very different. She was with my father from maybe around 16, 17 years old and married by 20. That's unheard of in these times.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So a whole different mentality.
But do you
And
think that's a maturity, Julian? Because to be quite honest, when I think about myself at 20 years old, I was not mature. So it was a different, it's different when it comes to our parents and how they raised us at 20, 18, 19, 20 years old. I didn't think of marriage. But I feel like back then, I think Julian, you're mute, your mic is mute. Oh, you're better now. You're better.
Okay.
Now. Back then it's a little different because at that time, at that age, it was more so of support, right? When it comes, you have to be married. When you're married, you need more of that financial stability to support even the parents, because sometimes the parents would benefit off the marriage, and they would get that support when their daughter mostly their daughter that was married, right? But my thing is more so of, I feel like my mom is Grenadian. And when it comes to her morals and my grandmother, I remember as a kid, they used to always say this might be really old fashioned, but I was 12. They're like, you need to learn how to do the dishes because you gotta do that for your husband. You gotta do this because you're going to get married one day and you're gonna have to for your husband. So when I was younger, learning little things like laundry or cooking or things like that, which is very old-fashioned in my generation. I learned at a younger age. It's a little different now because there's females who are my age that they don't even know how to rub two grains together. So it's a little different now, but doesn't mean it's right. We can look at the statistics when it comes to marriage and relationships. We're having more children without marriage than marriages, right? So is that the right way? Because
for me, I don't know if it's the right way or the wrong way, but I try to instill in my children some of the old-fashioned values, and I tell them, as much as they are on their career right now, like still you have to choose wisely, ask questions when you're dating, like really get down into the meat of it, because the one you choose to have your children with, whether you're married or not, they're gonna be in your life forever.
Yep.
Forever. So please choose wisely. Yes, there's women out there that will just look for men. Oh, I want to have a child with a tall guy. I mean, I did it. I wanted a tall guy. I wanted tall children, and that was it. That was my one line. So be careful who you choose. Be careful, because you could go to school and start your career and have the greatest job and choose the wrong wife, and that person had a wrong husband, and your life could be a living hell.
Yeah.
So you did all the right thing and you still didn't choose correctly. So I try to, and they do have that old fashioned, and I like that they do have that old fashioned thing, and I tease them every now and then just to test them, and they're like, oh mom, like you think that's how you think of us, like you taught us right, like we do things, like I make them make sure not every sex you should accept, not every sex good sex, don't feel because she's pretty and she showing it that you just go take it and be like, yeah, that, I love a man, even for myself, who choose where he does his stuff, choose,
Yeah.
So I install that in them, like choose. Don't feel like this, she come in, let me do it, let she come in. But I say just as much as men don't want women who was promiscuous or whatever, we don't want promiscuous. At least me, I don't want the promiscuous man either. Like
exactly.
Because then trust have to come in. You have to trust, like he goes to be my sister, my cousin, my mother, my aunt, who I don't know, my nene.
Yeah.
You're just reckless.
Yeah.
So I try, and I hope that they get it. But these kids, as Daniel be like, oh, you think my salary can take care of kids? I have to up my game. I want to be in a certain position for. So as much as we say we don't like what Steve Harvey say, he ain't listen to Steve Harvey, but he still has that. He's like, Mom, I have to be in a certain position. I want to be a manager before I even settle down and have a family, because I want to be able to take care of my family and not struggling.
For me right now, I think this whole COVID situation that we're in right now has really reinforced the importance of family. And you can spend the next 10 years at college becoming whatever person of your dreams, accountant or have you, but if you're lonely and you have no one to love, and you're coming home at the end of the day and you are alone, something is wrong. So this COVID has brought out the importance of family. It makes it makes people want to be with someone. Everybody deserves to be loved. At the end of the day,
we all
as my father would say, it's all about love. It's all about family, being appreciated, having good friends. This has really reinforced it. And if anything I could stress to my kids is the importance of finding a life partner, whoever that may be. Put yourself in a situation where you're going to be happy and that person's going to bring out the best in you.
Yeah,
and accept the worst too.
Yes, exactly.
I see a lot of people, I know, well, not even see, a couple people who will put up like, oh, I'm independent, I'm this or whatever. And then the next couple of days, a phone call is like, hey, Hermelin, I can't find a man. I'm so lonely. And you're making $100,000 a year. You're making $90,000 a year.
So money doesn't mean anything.
Women tell lies out there saying they're good, some of them, or they're good. But what is life? Coming home to a nice apartment, a big job, and just nobody to laugh, travel with.
That's it, exactly.
To share some cricks with cheese, girl. Check, So that could, and I could have, and I learned from the elders that I see took the path of career, and they did that, and in the end they are 60, they are 65 and angry. So even though they're successful, they are angry, and all they will talk about now, I remember when Ben used to like me. Oh, I remember Sam. Oh my God, Philip, you remember him? Oh my God, I should have married him, but at the time I thought, trust me, I'm hearing those 60, 65, 70, and 75-year-old elders talking about all the missed opportunities they missed in their 30s or 40s, but they guising it up as, I'm independent. I did it all by myself.
But they're lonely.
Yeah. and sometimes somebody mentioned something important. It's not always about getting married. A lot of young couples choose to live together first, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. We're not judging anybody. It's the companionship. That's very important. Nobody wants to die alone.
Imagine definitely COVID taught me that one.
That's it.
COVID taught me that one. Like, oh my God, I could die. Yeah.
Unless you're a very introverted person. You have to be a very introverted person to say that they don't want anyone around them and they're okay with not communicating with anyone for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
And those are people who will die in their home by themselves.
Yeah, and
it happens.
Yeah, it happens. It's a sad case, knowing that I have family members that actually have businesses that you deal with, nursing homes or home health aid, and they see they don't have any family, have no children, no one. They're the only ones, and it's just them and their aid, and it's sad because a lot of times they do die alone.
Yes, and it's a personal choice whether we want to stay single or we want a companion or we want to get married or we want somebody to travel the world with. It's a personal choice because you make the choice to stay single. No, please don't advocate that I stay single because you made your personal choice.
It might be. Yeah, that's what I said. It has to be a really good introverted person. Not everyone could deal with it.
Yeah, I see. Deanne said she's too afraid to be in love again. Girl, you need to start by loving yourself first. Exactly, and surround yourself with people who appreciate and love you. Start loving yourself first. Don't look for love; it will find you.
Yeah,
beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the show is definitely ending. It's already 6:01 already.
Oh my.
We could have talked about this forever. But everyone, please continue to tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Also, I mean, hey, if you want to hear other topics, try to see if you could just send a message and maybe we could talk about your topic next.
Yes.
Have a great rest of the weekend and enjoy your Palm Sunday, and also next Sunday is Easter, so enjoy your long week. You guys have a
Happy
good
Easter,
day.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.